Hey everyone, it's Richard Metalfan here, bringing you guys a brand new 2023 album review. And as you can see below the title, well, today we're going to be reviewing the one of the most important, influential bands in old school death metal. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be talking about "Dying of Everything" by the almighty Obituary, the band's 11th album, which is released today under Relapse Records. Now, Obituary, for me, I don't think I really need to go into detail with these guys. I'm pretty sure everybody is aware of them. Been around since the mid to late 80s, from Tampa, Florida. One of the best bands in like the whole old school Florida death metal scene, along with like Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, and Deicide. And for me, Obituary, in my opinion, is like the most underrated out of the bunch. I feel like for me, Obituary really, they are kind of more of a, especially for more recent albums, a lot kind of a fun kind of band. I know it's kind of weird lumping in fun with death metal, but they have like just like a fun like vibe with their music. Of course, they've been putting out albums since their first album, which came out in 1989, Slowly Rewrought, which is still a classic debut album in pretty much death metal history. I put it there with like Dawn of Possession by Immolation, or like Altars of Madness by Morbid Angel. Joel, it's just up there. And overall, and they've also put out classic albums like Cause of Death, The End Complete. And overall, this is the band's 11th full-length studio album, and this follows up their previous album, which was self-titled, which came out in 2017. So pretty much about almost 6 years later, if I've done the math right, since we've had any new Obituary album music. And has this lived up to the expectations? In my honest opinion, I think it definitely has. And I just think they're just a really great band, and pretty much the band I've seen the most. I've seen them live now exactly 10 times, and they've just, since 2016, and I've just been a fan of them since. One thing to know is just the vocal work from John Tardy. Like, he pretty much almost has the exact same voice that he did on Slowly Rewrought. It's pretty much about the same. It's like, it's hard. I'm probably gonna do a shitty imitation of that. It's like, it's hard to describe, but he has a very distinct voice, and I just think it just sounds a lot powerful. The guitar work on this album is pretty tight. Trevor Perez and Ken Andrews both come up with some really great riffs, and just the riffs, I think, in my opinion, I think Obituary, in my opinion, I keep saying in my opinion a lot, but they have like new riffs upon new riffs every fucking time. And I don't think they reuse any riffs. It's just really just catchy and just really just earworm kind of music. The bass wise, Terry Butler, legendary band, legendary bassist, I should say, played with Death. He was also in 6 Feet Under. He also plays in newer bands like Inhuman Condition and Left to Die. I think that the bass on this album is pretty audible. And drumming wise, Donald Tardy does a really great job keeping the beat. So without further ado, I pretty much rambled on for about 3.5 minutes. Let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is Bury Alive, and right from the get-go, the band just comes in ripping and tearing. And Donald really just sets a great pace with his double bass before cranking into just a pulverizing gear. And then the guitars and the bass burn with some really great single-note furies and chunky down-pick chords. And the Ken's guitar solo on here is a dazzling display of just fretboard insanity, and John's vocals are just really just snarling on here, and I think it's a really great way to start off this album. And then we get to the next song on the album, which is called The Wrong Time, and the killer riff in this song that starts it off gets your attention right away, and the band locks in with John roars The Right Mindset, The Wrong Time over like a great sort of like power behind it that drives it with the urgency. And this is a concrete packing song. It's just very punishing, and it just makes you want to just headbang when you hear the song. Next song on the album is called Without a Conscience. Now, this song will rip your head off with simple but effective riffs built upon a great rhythm section. And when I mentioned sort of like the kings of groove, and I definitely think Obituary has that groovy element to them, and there's no other band capable of starting like a circle pit with the first chords, even in my opinion, their slowest song. Um, then we move on to War, and at the start and the finish of the song, you can hear sort of like the war machine grinding, shooting, and destroying the landscape. It kind of gives sort of like a cinematic kind of vibe to it. And then we go to the title track, Dying of Everything. Now, this song is a very fast song. It is also the highlight because of the fantastic guitar solo from Ken, and one of the best contributions on this album. The playing from Ken is really at top notch, and the solos are more elaborated and creative this time, adding class and musicality to the songs overall. Moving on to My Will to Live. Now, this is a song that could snap anybody, but it just break people in half. Such has a very powerful power to it, and it just throws back and forth, and it's the simplicity of the riff that allowed Obituary to stand apart for the long 35 years in their career. It's just nothing fancy, but it does exactly what Obituary does. And then we get to By the Dawn. Now, this song buzzes with energy and keeps everything straightforward. The riffs are very pulverizing, the drumming is ferocious, and John just snarls again throughout here. Moving on to Weaponize the Hate. Now, this song starting off is kind of a little bland, or just kind of plain to begin with, but as the song kind of progresses, it picks up and has a really great bridge to it. Torn Apart is another great song. I dig it. And then we close things out with Be Warned. Now, this song is just has a very kind of almost like doom kind of vibe to it with the old school death metal. Has a really great guitar intro, blazing with terror. And I just love how John just scrolls, beware and be warned. And the guitar solo on this song is pretty simple, but yet effective. And it fits like a glove. And this thundering monster of a song, especially with like the whammy bar dives into harmonics over like the rhythm of the song, it was really well. And that's just how it just like fades away. And this has to be, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, Obituary song of all time. Now, overall, Dying of Everything by Obituary, really good album from the guys, especially a long wait since the self-titled album to now. So I give this album a score. I'm going to give Dying of Everything by Obituary a solid 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of the new Obituary album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.